Today I want to share 10 habits that will change your life in just 30 days. These are small, simple habits that you can implement from today. And trust me, in 30 days time, you're going to look back and you're going to see the progress. Welcome to the Elevation Edit. My name is Annie. If you're new here, we talk all things self-development, developing healthy habits, and just becoming the best version of yourself. I'm so excited that you're here today. Let's get straight into it. So if I was starting a self-development journey and I wanted to make some serious changes in 30 days, the first thing I would do is read a book. Now, reading is probably one of the best things that you can do to make real progress and real changes. It will support your self-development because it's going to increase your vocabulary. It's going to help you to articulate yourself better. You're going to learn new ideas. Reading is so important. Reading is so much more than just knowledge. It is also, for me, it's also about building resilience. And I say this because when you commit yourself to reading a book, and sometimes that book might be a very long book, maybe over 500 pages, the resilience that is required to actually make it through the book, especially if it's one that is not particularly interesting but is very informative, that will build resilience. And resilience in this day and age is super important. You cannot get far without resilience. You can commit yourself to reading 10 pages a day or 10 minutes a day, but at least one book in that first month. You can increase it if you like to. I personally like to do 12 books a year, so one book per month. Currently, I am reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I just started this book, so I'm really excited to read this and then share what I learned from this book. That's going to be coming up very soon, so stay tuned for that. Please read a book, pick something out. It could be fiction, non-fiction. Just choose something and read. So if I was starting a personal development journey, the second habit that I would want to implement is being my own person. And when I say this, what I mean is moving away from sheep mentality, following others, and just really stepping into being your own person. Most people will follow with the crowd. They don't like to step out of their comfort zone. They don't like to do things differently. And if you're serious about making changes, you have to be able to learn how to say no when necessary. You need to be independent and you need to be unique and creative in your own ways. That all requires being your own person, being an individual. Habit number 3 is keeping your space tidy and clean. A cluttered space equals a cluttered mind, and your space really dictates how productive you'll be. If you're coming home from work, from your day, and then your whole environment is scattered and just unclean and just a mess, you are not going to be in the headspace to do anything productive. A way to combat this is to do what I like to call 10-minute resets. Before you go to bed, 10 minutes to do any minor tasks around the house. This might include folding laundry, clearing surfaces, doing your dishes. You're going to automatically feel calmer. It's going to reduce your stress levels. When you're stressed, you become burnt out, you're unproductive. So doing things within your day that is going to support you in the long term to stay motivated, stay productive. Let's move on to habit number 4. Habit number 4 is movement. Now, movement doesn't have to be going to the gym. It could be walking. It could be anything that is moving your body throughout the day. Aside from me just even going into the health benefits, the endorphins that are released, the dopamine hits that you get, but also your own self-discipline. When you are committing yourself to moving every single day, you're going to support your health, but you're also saying to yourself every day that I'm showing up and I'm achieving this task every single day. I'm not failing in this area. I don't personally have a dog, but I would love to get a dog one day, because I found that people that I know that have dogs, they tend to be the most active people that I know, and it's just because their dog forces them to be more active. Maybe I'll get a dog one day, who knows? So if I was starting my personal development journey and I was serious about seeing changes in the next 30 days, the next thing that I would do is implement no phone time. This is a period in the morning and the evening where you have no screen time at all. Something that I do to support me with this is I utilize the do not disturb feature and time limit feature on my iPhone, and this allows me to basically, it locks your phone down. The time limit feature locks your phone down after a certain time. It could be that you set your time limit for 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. and then it says that you've reached your limit, and then you won't be able to access that app. You can override it, but that's where discipline comes in. And if you have that discipline, you're not going to override it. Right, okay, I'm done for the day, time for me to wind down, do my skincare routine and just get ready for bed. Editing Annie here, and I wanted to quickly show you how to use your iPhone's focus and screen time features to help you stay distraction free. So you're going to go to your settings and then focus and tap on do not disturb, and that feature is also available in the control center. You can schedule your quiet hours, so your calls and notifications are silenced, and that's really great for if you're studying or sleeping. Next, under screen time, you're going to tap downtime to set a schedule, and this is where only certain apps or contacts are allowed, so you can put the contacts and apps that you want to allow during that time, or if there's none, then you will just leave it blank. Then finally we have app limits, and you can set daily limits for apps like social media. So when you hit the limit, the app will pause, but you can choose to ignore it if you really need more time. Try your best to just stay disciplined and just stick to your time limits. So yeah, it's just super handy for staying focused and in control. Okay, let's get back into the video. For me, I have an hour in the morning and an hour before sleep to focus on your thoughts and your well-being and prepare you for the day without distractions. If you wake up in the morning and then you pick up your phone and then you see all the notifications from the night before, you're already thinking about your phone and what's going on in there, but you need to just have time to yourself. So setting time in the morning for yourself completely, no phone time, nothing. And then in the evening before you go to bed, an hour before bed, I have found that I am sleeping so much better now that I've implemented this and I'm having a time away from my phone before sleeping. I found that when I was scrolling through my phone before bed, it took me longer to wind down and actually sleep and rest. But having an hour just before bed to read, reflect on the day, I'm going to see massive improvements just from doing that. Habit number 6 is preparing your own food. Preparing your own food is important, again, for your health. It's very convenient to order every single day. The food gets delivered, you go and pick it up, but you don't really know how that food was prepared. It has a lot of preservatives. It's not necessarily the most healthiest for you, but if you are getting whole foods and just preparing your own meals, it's going to be nutritious, and also it feels good to eat food that you've made yourself. And the way we can do this, actually this will lead to my next habit. Not only is it unhealthy, but it's also a massive waste of money. So try your best to develop a routine where you are preparing your own food. This actually leads into habit number 7, which is using Sunday as a planning day. There is something about using Sunday as a planning day which just sets you up for a successful week ahead. When you feel like you're prepared and you're planning ahead, you're ahead of the game already, and that will also support your mental health. You're going to feel so much more positive, and I promise you, you're going to be amazed at how calm you feel when your week is already organized. Okay, so habit number 8, and this one, I really love this habit. We are going to develop a habit of constantly learning. The learning is never done. You never know too much. You can always learn something new, and having that mindset and always striving to know more than you do already is something that's going to propel you, and you're going to see huge progress in your self-development journey. And learning doesn't have to be taking a new course, although I do definitely recommend finding new courses. It could be free courses, short courses, but finding courses where you are learning new things. But learning is reading. It could be watching YouTube videos where you're learning something new, some new information. It could be learning how to cook a new meal, for example. It could be listening to a podcast. So learning is just in so many different ways. There's so many different ways to learn, and I really want that to become a habit of yours, something that you are striving for and that you implement into your life. So we're going to be constantly learning. And like I said, you never know too much. There's always something new to learn. And if you're quote unquote maybe a little bit of a know-it-all, or maybe you feel like you have already learned everything that there is to know in life, move away from that mindset, because it could be causing your own stagnation. Maybe you're not seeing very much progress in your life, and it might be because of your mindset. Move away from that, and maybe think a little bit more on lines of, okay, I'm an expert in this area, but this is a new area that I know nothing about, or I have limited knowledge in this area. What can I do to further progress? So habit number 9 is being open to feedback. You will not make any progress if you're not open to feedback. Feedback equals reflection, which equals actions, which equals results. So if you're not open to any feedback whatsoever from anyone, and you feel like everything that you do is perfect, you're not going to make any progress. And when I say, albeit I said feedback, constructive feedback is the key here. It has to be constructive. Be mindful of the spaces where you are collecting feedback. So it needs to be from trusted individuals who are experts in their field, in their area, that can provide you with constructive feedback so that you can identify your weaknesses and then work on those areas. I'm going to give you an example here. It could be that maybe you had a conversation with your friend and it didn't go so well, and your friend said to you in a kind way that, I found your tone in that conversation to be quite harsh. Now there's 2 ways that you can go about this. You could either say, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that to me, and now we are not friends anymore. Or you could take it on board and then reflect on it, and then maybe look at your communication skills. Is there something that you can do in the future to communicate more effectively? If you take a comment like that to heart, then what you might find is that in future encounters with people, you might be getting the same feedback, you might be having negative experiences with people, and it might be because you just haven't adjusted. Like I said, it's not to say that all feedback is useful, because all feedback isn't useful. It needs to be constructive feedback. It needs to be coming from a place of kindness, and it needs to be coming from a person who is an expert in their field, if we're talking about work and things, or from somebody who loves you, who genuinely cares about you and wants to see you be the best version of yourself. Okay, so habit number 10 is having flexibility in your routine. Life is unpredictable. Quick example, it could be that you planned to exercise in the morning, but then you have an unexpected appointment. Do you just forget all about your plans, or do you adapt and adjust? So rather than doing your exercise in the morning, you could decide to maybe stretch and go for a walk in the evening. So just being flexible and adaptable in that respect. Flexibility teaches resilience, and it also teaches adaptability, which are important skills to get you far in life. Don't be afraid to make small adjustments when needed, because small adjustments will also help you in your journey, and it will help you to progress and move forward. Like, subscribe, and share this video with someone else who wants to level up too. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.